everyone and welcome to my new video. This is Manx TT Superbike on the Sega Saturn. I must confess I had never actually come across this game before prior to picking it up on the Saturn. I had heard of it, but I'd never actually played it or really seen that much footage from it. It's just a pure arcade racing game, sort of in very similar mould, I guess, to the Daytona series and stuff like that. And it was these type of games that Sega really do excel at. You know, when you look at the games that they release for the Saturn and the games that released for the Dreamcast, even the ones that came out on the Sega Mega Drive and Master System, racing games have always featured way up there on the list of the best games available on the system, and that, of course, that is their arcade heritage. You go all the way back to the likes of Outrun and Daytona and Virtua Racing in the arcades. It is something that has always been a hallmark of Sega. By no means is it the only thing that they've excelled at, but you know, it is something that they have made their name with down the years. And surprisingly, this doesn't really seem to, well, certainly it's not something that I've ever come across on the high up list of games that have been sort of astounding or landmark type games, and I guess it probably isn't, but that doesn't mean to say this isn't a very, very good game. It is. Technically speaking, I would say that it is superior to Daytona. I'm not too sure when this came out in the Saturn's life cycle, but although, as you can see, there is some pop-up with regards to the graphics, it's by no means as bad as it was with the original release of Daytona. But this is a fantastic game. It was really, really addictive to play. I guess it's sort of not. I'm not. It's certainly not accurately mapped and set on the Isle of Man TT race, but it sort of uses it as its inspiration, shall we say. It's supposedly set there, but geographically speaking, certainly when I've been to the Isle of Man, it isn't that accurate. But I mean, that doesn't really matter anyway. It's not supposed to be deadly accurate. I mean, it's an arcade racing game, and it's just supposed to convey the location that it's supposed to be set in, and it does do that very, very well indeed. Playability wise, it's really good. You have to be careful when you're handling the bike that you don't oversteer. That is one of the things that you need to watch out for. The handling is quite different to other racing games. Graphically, I think it's a lovely game to look at as well. It's got these sort of typical Sega bright coloured graphics plastered all over it, and yeah, it's really good. It is well worth checking out. There's plenty of challenge in there, that's for certain. It's not an easy game. Just very much your typical Sega type racer. It's kind of refreshing to be on motorbikes. It's kind of interesting because I have got a version of Hang On for the Sega Saturn, and I will be doing a video of that pretty soon. But it's kind of interesting that Hang On for the Saturn never seemed to be put forward, certainly in the way that Super Hang On was on the Mega Drive. You know, that's quite often fondly regarded, even though it's not the best motorbike game on the Mega Drive. That, to me, that accolade will always belong to Road Rash. But it was certainly interesting that there was a more evolved single player experience. On here, there's no, I mean, I say it's not Hang On, but there's no actual proper career mode, if that makes any kind of sense, like there was in Hang On. This is very much, this is the arcade game and that's it. I mean, you know, it's very stripped down and the focus is very much on the arcade experience, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, you know, it is a fantastic experience and that's exactly what the developers went for. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the Manx TT race is a race that I have always enjoyed watching the footage of. Basically, you've got to be a complete and utter raving lunatic to do the Manx TT race, because the one thing this game is probably correct on is the actual racing roads aren't too dissimilar. There are a lot of stone walls blasting through little villages with, you know, telegraph poles and phone boxes and nice solid brick walls. It's a very, very unforgiving road race circuit, and they're usually quite, you know, your fatalities are par for the course with it, unfortunately. But it is that legendary road race that I think most top motorcyclists always want to have a bash at. I think they're insane. But anyway, that's Manx TT Superbike on the Sega Saturn. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for more videos to come.